This week, it's the rotating BMW to South Africa, and we go for a wild ride in the mad racing buses of Panama. That's all today. It's Drive on NBC Sports. What do you think of when you think about travelling to Panama? Yes, there are hats and yes, there's a canal. But what you may not think of are the Red Devils. Those are the loud, brightly painted buses that race each other illegally on Panama highways. That is when they're not busy picking up passengers and blasting dance music. Drive's Matt Farah went on a quest to find the car culture of Panama and wound up taking a truly frightening ride in a Red Devil. It's the Drive Panama special coming up. But first, what do you get when you combine parking lot donuts with ghost riding the whip? You get spinning. It's dangerous, smoky, and if you drive a vintage BMW 3 Series in South Africa, it's the rule. We travel to the tip of the African continent to find out why BMW drivers there love to travel in circles and how they do it without running themselves over. And then JF Musial heads to the Western Cape to explore some of the most gorgeous driving roads in the world. It's Drive in South Africa. Check it out.
South Africa. This should be on your list of must-see places in your life. Rich in history and a visual feast which can only be shown and not described. But South Africa also holds a secret for one of the most enthusiastic car cultures of the world. And it's all for one particular car.
I mean, the E30s had a huge following, and then when I was in school, the E36 M3 was a spaceship almost. I mean, it had an insane performance. So we'd go through car magazines and we'd be like, yeah, that's the car I want to drive one day.
We weren't able to get supercars, so that was the level of supercar that we got. If you had a BMW or Merc, you were loaded.
And even though apartheid did its best to keep people as separate as possible, and it was terrible. I mean, so much wrong was done to deny people identities and heritage and that sort of thing. I grew up in that transition period in the early 90s when people were so afraid of what was going to happen. You know, mixing with a kid of another race was going to be, you don't want to do that. You know, and I'd like to think that by kids mixing together, that's how we all sort of started understanding each other. And then we started realizing, hey, we have things in common. We like cars, you know? We didn't have access to as many motorsport venues as, say, Europe or the US. So if guys wanted to have fun with their cars, they had to do it illegally on the street. And part of what came out of the racing is the spinning. You wanted to show off your car, you wanted to show how much power you had or how cool you could look and how much control you could have over your car, and that's where spinning sort of has its roots in the show-off culture. Spinning has a huge following in the poorer townships, and they'll spin anything. But the most popular, the most aspirational of those is the E30. In fact, the 325i has a nickname in the Zulu and Xhosa language. It's called the Gushesh, or the Ama Gushesh. Okay. Gushesh means fast or quick or along those lines. And that's what the cars are regarded as.
For the weeks leading up to this trip, I had researched the roads of South Africa. Within the Western Cape, over 100 passes to choose from. But I only wanted to find the best, and not just for driving, but also for the scenery. Our trip north took us to the Huguenot Tunnel. Finished in 1988 after 4 years of construction, and one of the largest roadway projects in South Africa. Absolutely stunning road, absolutely stunning scenery. Unlike any other place I've been, this reminds me very much like a mixture of Switzerland with Arizona. You've got the high mountain passes, the desert terrain and just sheer cliffs, absolute sheer cliffs. Before the tunnel was constructed, there was only one way to get across this mountain range, and that was this road, the R101. Now, driving it, still to this day, any hazardous materials have to take this route. They can't use the tunnel, which is a smart move. But it's also a smart move because the scenery, this is insane. So after about 5 or 6 hours of driving 340 kilometers all across the Western Cape, we come back down to Cape Town. What I've heard is that this is one of the best driving roads in the world, and even more special when you're driving it during sunset.